Hello and welcome to this edition of Salima Speaks. Today on my show I have a very interesting man, Mr. Michael Motley. He's a Vietnam vet, but he's also so much more. So here's Mr. Motley. Hello, Michael.
How you doing, Salima?
I'm doing great. And yourself?
I'm doing great too.
Good, good. Now, where are you from originally?
I'm from Philadelphia.
You are from Philadelphia?
I was born and raised in North Philadelphia.
Now, are you still in North Philadelphia?
No, I live in Wallingford, Pennsylvania, at the moment. But I was born and raised in the Richard Allen Projects.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yes.
You know, I've always heard of Richard Allen Project. They call it rap or something. Richard Allen Project.
Right.
Well, you have to tell me a little bit about that.
Well, it was where we lived. My brother, my sister and I, and we lived there from 1942 to 1951.
Okay.
And my father moved us to 16th and Clearfield and New Year's Day of 1951.
Well, all right. So you weren't there when it was like really bad, because like over the years, I mean, they used to have gunshots and drugs and things like that. So when you were there, that's before it got like really bad.
Yeah, well, a lot of the fellas I knew, because we grew up together, and then when we moved out, I used to go back
Right.
to the projects. And as a matter of fact, I went to church at St. Paul Baptist Church in Tiffin Wallace.
Okay.
And so I still had interaction with a lot of the fellas that were still there.
Right.
Then eventually,
So when you would go back, you would see that it did change.
no, it was the same up until I left, and I went to West Philadelphia High School, and then I got away from going down back to the projects. However, it wasn't until I started running track at West Philadelphia High School, and that I started running into guys that I knew from the Richard Allen Projects.
Okay.
and so forth, and then they will invite me back down back to the projects, and I would see people that I knew and that I grew up with, and
Well, how has it changed a lot, Philadelphia, from back then to now? And what are some of the biggest changes that you see?
well, the biggest change is we were more camaraderie. There was we were more into the group. A lot of people don't realize that when Malcolm X came to Philadelphia, it started Muhammad Speaks. Most of the people that he got from Richard Allen Project.
And I met Malcolm X, actually.
Right.
When I was a child.
Right, and came from the Richard Allen Projects. That's where Richard Allen Projects was where the Nation of Islam really originated.
Really?
Yeah, and he came and they recruited a lot of the fellas out of the Richard Allen Projects. Every second week in August, the Richard Allen Projects has a reunion
Okay.
for all the people that used to live. And
Really?
used to live in the projects.
Okay.
And
Well, they tore those down now.
oh, they tore it down and they rebuilt it, but
They built like
but still,
houses now, right?
right, the houses. But the reason that we moved out of the projects because in 1950, it was so hot one particular day, and we only had two rooms, so where my brother, my sister, and I slept.
Right.
And everything. And so it was so hot. My mother got so mad because it was so hot in there. She says, by this time next year, we're gonna be out of here.
So they didn't have any air conditioning.
No, it was no such thing as air conditioners and everything. And so we moved.
I think the projects were kind of unfair anyway, because you have these people on top of each other, all different, class of people, I would say, and it's like almost like a prison,
Well, no, I wouldn't think so, because we took care of each other.
Okay. Well, I'm saying when you were coming
when
up,
I was coming up.
as time went on, like the 80s and 90s.
Well, what
it
happened?
was like
what happened is that
war zone.
lack of jobs, and the people that didn't move out of the projects I couldn't give you the specifics because I wasn't there. Then the drugs came.
Okay.
And then when the drugs came, they had little boys guarding the interest into certain certain portions of the product or projects. But being from the Richard Allen projects, I never had anything to worry about because most people knew me.
Right.
You know, and I used to go to the parties and different affairs there, and the people, you know, was like, you know, I never left.
Okay.
You know, so and if somebody died, I went to the funerals.
Right.
You know, but
so you didn't have a problem because you were well known.
I was well known.
Now you said that you ran track at West Philadelphia.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now did you ever go think about going to Olympics or how?
No, I ran in the Penn relays.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
in
pretty
57,
big.
58, no, 58, 59, and I graduated in 60.
Really?
You know, from West Philly High.
Well, you look really good.
Well,
okay, because you're almost telling your age.
No, I'm not talking till I see my lawyer. But anyway, that's basically what. Then I left, and I went to Lincoln University for 2 years.
And what was your major there?
History.
Okay.
I was really into history. Then I dropped out of Lincoln, and that's when I was drafted.
Okay, now why'd you drop out of Lincoln?
Because all I wanted to do was party.
Okay.
And chase girls and all that kind of stuff.
And so, some things never change, but
so anyway, and so I dropped out, and then I was drafted.
Okay.
And so I went to the recruiting office, and they told me that if I took 2 years, that I could go anywhere I wanted in the world.
Okay.
And
if you enlisted for 2 years.
Yeah, for two more years, because when you were drafted. It was only for 2 years.
Oh,
so
okay.
if you took 2 more years, that means it was 4 years.
So when you went in, you were drafted you had to do 2 years.
Just 2 years.
But then you volunteered to do two
more years.
Okay.
Right. And so, to make a long story short, then I wound up in Fort Benning, Georgia. And at that time, the 11th, what the 1st Cavalry Division was initially the 11th Air Assault. Because what we was doing was we were being trained to fight jungle warfare.
Okay.
And so instead of parachuting like they did in World War II and the Korean War, we would hang from a helicopter and slide down a rope.
Really?
Yeah,
you actually did that?
Yeah, and because we were preparing for jungle warfare. So during that time, then we shipped wind up in Vietnam and then they changed the name to the 1st Cavalry Division when we first got there, and everything. And so, but most of the fellows that were in the military and was in the 1st Cavalry Division, a lot of us knew each other from high school, from running track, partying, you know, in Philadelphia. Friendships and things. We all want the number of black soldiers that were in Vietnam were from Philadelphia, New York, Detroit, Chicago, and Los Angeles. The black ones, and the whites were from the South.
Right.
From the South.
Now, what was your? I know that you told me before that you think about the horrors of Vietnam every day. What was your first horrible experience?
The first horrible experience that I had was when I was in a foxhole and we were being attacked by the North Vietnamese, and a fella named Frank Smith from Jacksonville, Florida, and I was very close, and we were like brothers, and he was the one that got me interested in real estate, because we were going to go in partners.
Okay.
And everything. Well, we were in the foxhole together, and we were being attacked, and I looked away, and then I looked back, and Frank was dead.
Wow, he got shot?
He got shot. He was dead, and we were in the same foxhole together. That was my first experience.
How long had you been there by that time?
Oh, I think I've been there maybe about 2 or 3 months, and everything. And cause we had to go out and build our camps and everything. And initially, like I mentioned to you before, when we first got to Vietnam, the Vietnamese, the North Vietnamese and everything, would not fire on black military men.
Really?
They would not fire on black because they thought we were African soldiers that the French had sent over. They called them the Sinhalese soldiers, and they thought we were Africans.
Wow.
And this was 1952 to 4 that the Sinhalese soldiers went over in Vietnam and beat them.
Okay.
So they thought that was us coming over there.
So you were there to kill them and to shoot and fire on them, but they didn't want to fire on you.
They didn't fire on us. When we got fired on, we had a thing. Most of the black soldiers had a thing. We would hit the ground, look up, and look for the tracer bullets, because when somebody's firing at you, there was always a tracer after the bullet.
Right.
And you would look up, and you would see what direction that bullet is going. And when you could see the directions, you just roll away from it, and let them fire whoever they were firing.
You know, it's everybody knows somebody that Vietnam has touched, and it's really, and I really want to talk more about that. As a matter of fact, I'm going to soon have a forum, and I would like for you to come to have people actually come and let people know about that. But we're going to take a little break right now.
Okay.
And we're going to come back and talk more with Mr. Michael Motley. And he has some very interesting products. It's called Macamina products. And we're going to come right back and talk about that.
Okay.
Hi, and we're back with Salima Speaks, and we have Mr. Michael Motley here. And we were talking about his Vietnam years, and we spoke about that before, and there's so many, stories and so many things I want to know more about, but I really think we're going to have to, do a forum about that, because I hear so many stories, and I really want to have some of the vets come on and do a whole forum and have other people come in, because so many of us know people of our family. I know like about 8 of my cousins went to Vietnam and they came back changed men, or more than that, 8 from one family actually, and they were different. They became drug addicts and alcoholics, and they didn't want to talk about it. I see now that more guys, you guys are willing to talk about it.
Well, drugs was heroin and opium was so cheap. You could buy a big bag of opium for $2. And what a lot of this brothers would do was snort the opium or the heroin and get high. And then when we was out in the field, they'd shoot and kill anything that came along.
Now, so back then, I mean, it was okay in the military for them to take the drugs?
Yeah, they didn't bother. They knew that there was drugs there, but they used to carry it on the pouch. And as you go out in the field, and they just snort it and be high.
So you're saying a lot of them probably got addicted over there and
right
came back addicted.
Came back because there was no medical facilities for them to go to and everything. So when we came back, we just went back home.
Wow.
And so a lot of them were drug addicts when they got back.
That's such a sad story. Like I said, I'm going to have a forum about that, and I really want you to come back. But now we're going to switch the subject here a little bit and talk about Macamina. And Macamina, let me tell you, I don't normally endorse things, but this I used this hair gel last night on my braids, and it made them shiny and really manageable and everything, and I really liked it. And I also tried the foot cream. And the foot, and you can kind of feel it feels kind of tingly.
Yeah, it relieves the pain. In the foot cream, it relieves the pain. That's where eucalyptus is.
Okay, now, how did you get into making these products?
Well, what happened was I was recruited by a multi-level company called Shabella. And what we did, we went around trying to recruit people into and we got paid for it.
Okay.
But about 5 of us were so good that the owner of the company sent us to school,
Okay.
and we learned how to put ingredients together.
Oh,
All
okay.
herbs and what they were for. I knew a little bit about the herbs because I used to go down south. My father used to take us down south, and a lot of the old women down south knew a lot about herbs, and
Sure.
they worked
Sure.
with the herb.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't know how to put cosmetics or skincare together. And so when I went to school, that's where I learned it. What happened was the owner, took some important ingredients of a lot of our products out and raised the prices.
Okay.
And so when he raised the price, people start complaining. The customers that I had was complaining, and they said that this is not the same.
So they could tell the difference.
They knew the difference.
Okay.
That's one thing I learned about this business is that you had to satisfy the customer, because if you didn't, they know that you're selling them a bad product. So your product had to be better.
Okay.
So what happened was I was working, and like most young men back, working on a job, and I had 2 children, and I decided that I wanted to do something for the children to just make some extra money,
Right.
you know. And so I couldn't think of a name of anything, you know. So I fell back on the products that I had, you know, that I was selling before with the multi-level company. And I came up with Macamina. And Macamina is a combined first name of my son and my daughter,
Oh, what are their names?
McKees and Kwamina. Kwamina is African, Ghanaian, were born on Saturday, and it's a male name, but I thought it was so pretty on a female.
Okay.
And McKees is Greek for Michael.
Okay.
And so I combined them both.
Combine them and put, now, all your ingredients are natural?
All natural ingredients, and each product that I created has over 50% aloe vera.
Really?
Yeah, and
Okay.
everything, and moisturize with it, because I figured that and watching some African American women and what they were doing to the hair and to their feet and everything, I said, well, I'm gonna make something better.
Okay.
And which I did. And I had a hand cream that I'm really sold out.
Yeah, I tried the hand cream. It's really good
It
too.
was really
Really
sold, but it's
make
all
my hands
aloe vera
soft. Okay.
with natural products. Because I feel that it's in this day and age that we as African Americans should, and especially the African American women, need to be as natural as possible.
Exactly.
You know, because a lot of black men, and being a black male myself, like natural black women.
Really?
And, yeah.
Okay. I've heard that.
and also they kind of frown on synthetic hair that a lot of the African American
But you
women.
know, this. You say that, and you make a point. I do talk to a lot of men about that, and so many women, of course, get weave-ins and want the straight hair because they want the European look,
Mhm.
and they think that that's what black men want to see, because a lot of black men do go to white women that have that hair. But what I find out is that they would rather have, when they're dealing with us, our natural hair. If it's short or kinky, whatever, as long as it's natural,
Yes.
they tend to like the naturalness.
Well,
of
the
hair.
natural one thing about natural hair, and you have to keep in mind, is that the top of your head is where most of your vitamins in your body is.
Okay.
So if that's weak and that's dry, the rest of your body is going to be weak and it's going to be dry.
Okay.
And now with the natural hair and when you talk about black men going to white women and everything, that's the inferiority complex that a lot of African American men and women have, about themselves.
But is that true though? I mean, a lot of black men do go to white women.
Well, that's the fallacy that they
And
bring
I
to it.
think a lot of women think that it has something to do with the hair, and because they think that all men like long hair and things like that. But I think that when you say men like long hair, I think they like if it's natural, if it's your natural hair.
Most men, being I will reiterate, being a black male,
Okay.
I know the feelings of most black men because I am black myself, and I know.
Have you ever dealt with a white woman?
I'm not talking so I see my voice.
Okay, my point exactly. Okay.
But with the hair and watching,
Speechless, are we? Okay.
watching the women that was in my family and things like that, and everything that came up, and wearing the wigs, because the Chronicle situation was the hot comb, which Madam C.J. Walker invented, came from Germany, and that's what they use. And a lot of things happened as a result of slavery, and the straightening of the hair, and using the chemicals to make your hair straight, along with the psychological effect that you see in everyday life here in America, made a lot of black people feel that they had an inferiority complex about themselves. So if you see a black man going towards the white woman, they are just like anybody else, but their preference is to black women.
Okay,
and a lot of black women don't realize that, because a lot of black women have been beat down, talked about, and everything else.
So you think their preference is black women, but if that's their preference, then why then do they go to the white woman?
Because they feel they can't do any better.
So your opinion, going to the white woman is a step down?
It is a step down.
Wow.
It's a step down, because the appreciation of our women is the key to our survival.
Well, you know that, but come on, Michael. You know doggone well when these black men make money, what is the first thing they get after they get their car? A white woman. So to them, it's not taking a step down. They think it's taking a step up. Your philosophy, of course, I agree with it, being a black woman, but you know doggone well that to most black men, a white woman is a step up. You know that.
Well, let me put it.
Fancy car, white woman.
Let me put it.
Okay? In that order.
Let me put it to you this way. I'm not going to speak on all black men and why they marry.
Of course.
White women.
Right.
I'm speaking on how I feel.
Okay.
And see, growing up in the era where we were growing up in the era. See, a lot of black people don't know each other.
Right.
See, when I was coming up, I knew black women, I knew black men. We partied together, we were friends, and we're friends today. All the way up to today. Today, a lot of the young black men that are out there do not know the gift and the positive inspiration they could get from a black woman, because they don't know black women.
Right. Exactly. And women now, especially the younger women, the 20s and teens, they don't know themselves.
They don't know themselves.
Women back in your day, like your wife, were very different. They were ladies. They knew how to be black women.
And they were proud of being black.
Exactly.
Because I remember my father went as far as the 8th grade, but my mother went to Bennett College for a year. But they stayed married for 45 years. And so she understood this was the man of the house, and he was only had 8th grade education.
Wow, see, and
so,
that makes a difference. Also, the way you look at your man.
Right.
No matter if she had more education than him, she knew he was the man and had a household.
But she was willing to accept the fact that she was the mother.
Right.
The mother, like I said, in the household, the mother that took care of the children.
Right.
Even today, with my son, I said to my son, be careful about the woman that you get.
Okay.
Because the woman that you get is the woman that's going to take care of your household. And if she's going to take care of your household, she's going to raise your children.
Right.
Now, if she's messed up, you're going to be messed up. Your house is going to be messed up, and your children going to be messed up.
Exactly.
Like that.
Exactly.
So that's something that the younger people today do not realize.
And see, but like you said, you taught your son. How many black men don't have that father figure? A lot of black men are raised by angry black women.
Well, see,
so they don't know how to treat women because they're raised with this angry black woman that they may even learn to hate because she's making him hate himself. And
that's the reason when you come up in an environment and you don't know yourself and you don't appreciate yourself, then you get angry because you don't understand why this man is this way and that way. And everything. So you become angry and you pass it on to your children.
Right.
These products were made for women, but it could be used by men.
Oh yeah, I want to ask you that, especially like the hair gel. A man could use this in his?
A man could use it because his hair is natural anyway. Okay. And little children. I have some customers up in Erie, Pennsylvania, and they had little girls. And so I said, my philosophy was to get to these little girls before they grow up, because they start putting the comb and the perms and the chemicals all in their hair. And
right.
Their hair. So before, like when they're 6 or 7 years old, you could use this on their hair.
Now, could a man use this in his beard? Because a lot of men have bald heads now, but they have beards. Could he use this in his beard?
You could use it because it's nothing but, aloe vera is nothing but a plant.
I know a couple men that have a beard. I'm going to tell them to put this in their beard and their mustache. Maybe Brett Joy can put some in his mustache.
And the foot cream is that when you're working, you're tired, your feet are tired.
Yeah, I tried this. It
takes the pain. It takes the pain out of your feet.
It's good like between pedicures. Most people get pedicures now, so it's good between pedicures.
Pedicures and the hand cream is good for manicures.
Good.
Of the hands,
And you know what? We're going to start wrapping up now, but it's been a pleasure. Your wisdom and your knowledge of black people, and you're helping black women get back to the natural thing with your Macamina products.
And Salima, I really like to take this opportunity to thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk about my products, because it's women like you that can always appreciate, always take care of.
Yeah, I still believe in black men.
Okay.
As will be proved when my CD comes out for my single. It's entitled "You Are," tribute to black men. I had to put a plug in there. And I thank you so much for coming. You're a wonderful guy.
Okay.
And I look forward to working with you.
All right.
Because as a matter of fact, you did ask me to be the spokesperson.
That's
for
right.
Macamina, and I have agreed.
Okay. Good.
So thank you for looking at this edition of Salima Speaks. And remember to love yourself, love others, and don't forget to stretch.
Okay.